An ancient being warned the council, "Do not provoke Earth." The council chamber floated in the void between galaxies, a construct older than most civilizations that now pleaded for its wisdom. Maeve stood before the crystalline assembly, her human frame dwarfed by the towering representatives of 1,000 worlds. She had come as Earth's ambassador, though she knew the title meant little to beings who had witnessed the birth of stars. "You request military assistance," rumbled Thexelar, a creature of Livingstone whose species had conquered gravity itself. "Against the Viridian swarm. Why should we risk our fleets for your primitive world?" Maeve's jaw tightened, but before she could respond, the chamber's light dimmed. A presence emerged from the shadows at the far end. Something that had been so still, the delegates had forgotten it was there. The Ancient One had no name that mortal tongues could pronounce. It had observed the council for eons, speaking perhaps once every 1,000 cycles. Its form shifted between dimensions, never quite settling into reality. When it spoke, the words bypassed ears entirely, manifesting directly in the minds of all present. "You will help them," the Ancient One declared, its voice carrying the weight of cosmic law. The council erupted in protest. Delegates from species that had never agreed on anything suddenly found common ground in their outrage. The Ancient One had not spoken in living memory, and now it presumed to command them. "The human world is irrelevant," hissed Syrinx, the serpentine representative of the Concordance. "They have barely achieved faster than light travel. They possess no unique resources." They are human," the Ancient One interrupted, and the temperature in the chamber dropped by several degrees. "That is reason enough to fear provoking them." Maeve felt every eye turn toward her. She stood straighter, though confusion flickered across her features. The Ancient One drifted closer, its form solidifying slightly, a gesture of respect, perhaps, or warning. "I have watched your species for what you would call 40,000 years. I was there when your ancestors first looked up at the stars and wondered. I have seen civilizations rise and fall like waves upon a shore. But humanity?" It paused, and something like admiration colored its tone. "Humanity is different." "Different how?" demanded Thexelar. "They are weak, soft. Their ships are crude, their weapons laughable compared to ours. They are relentless," the Ancient One said simply. "Let me tell you what I have witnessed." The chamber fell silent. "I watched humanity crawl from caves to cities without any guidance, any uplifting from elder species. They did it alone, clawing progress from a world that tried at every turn to kill them. Predators, plagues, ice ages, meteor strikes. Their planet has tried to wipe them clean a dozen times. They refused to die." The Ancient One's form pulsed with something that might have been excitement. "I watched them split the atom barely a century after inventing powered flight. They looked upon a force that could destroy their entire species and thought, 'We can use this.' They did not fear it, they harnessed it." Maeve thought of Rupert, her partner, who waited aboard their ship in orbit. He'd wanted to come with her, but someone had to stay behind to be ready to run if things went wrong. That was humanity too, always having a backup plan, always preparing for the worst while hoping for the best. "When they reached their moon," the Ancient One continued, "they did it with computers less powerful than the devices they now carry in their pockets. They did it because someone said it was impossible. Humanity hears impossible as a challenge, not a barrier." Syrinx slithered forward. "This proves nothing. Many species have achieved spaceflight through determination. But how many," the Ancient One asked, "have turned their own fragility into strength? Humans live barely a century. They should be cautious, protective of their brief flames. Instead, they burn brighter because of it. They have produced more art, more science, more philosophy in their short existence than species that live for millennia. They create as if every moment might be their last." The Ancient One's voice grew harder. "And when you threaten what they love, they do not surrender. I have seen a human mother lift a ground transport vehicle to save her child. A physical impossibility. Yet it happened. I have seen human soldiers hold positions against overwhelming odds, not because they could win, but because retreat meant abandoning their fellows. They have a concept called spite. They will endure unimaginable suffering simply to prove you cannot break them." Maeve felt a chill run down her spine. She'd never thought of humanity this way, as terrifying rather than terrified. "The Viridian swarm threatens Earth," the Ancient One stated. "If you do nothing, the humans will fight alone." They will lose battles. They will lose worlds. But here's what you must understand: they will not stop. They will reverse engineer every piece of Viridian technology they capture. They will adapt, innovate, weaponize things you never thought could be weapons. They will fight for generations if they must. The Ancient One expanded, filling the chamber with its presence. And when they finally win, and they will win because humans do not know how to accept extinction, they will remember who stood with them and who did not. They will remember that the Great Council, in all its power and wisdom, abandoned them in their darkest hour. The silence that followed was absolute. Help them, the Ancient One commanded, because a humanity grateful for your aid is a powerful ally, but a humanity that survives despite your abandonment. It paused meaningfully. That is a force the galaxy is not prepared to face. Thexular rumbled uncertainly. You truly believe they are such a threat? Threat? The Ancient One's laugh echoed through dimensions. I believe they are inevitable. The only question is whether you will be remembered as friends or obstacles. Maeve stepped forward, finding her voice at last. We didn't come here to threaten anyone. We came here asking for help because we believe in cooperation, in building bridges between species. But the Ancient One is right about one thing: we don't give up. Ever. Help us or don't. Either way, humanity will endure. The Council looked at the small human standing before them with new eyes, and for the first time, some of them felt fear. Thexular's voice rumbled through the chamber. The Council will vote to provide military assistance to Earth. As Maeve left the chamber, she activated her communicator. Rupert, you're not going to believe what just happened. Back in the shadows, the Ancient One smiled, if such a being could smile. It had told the Council the truth, but not all of it. It had not mentioned that it had seen humanity's future in the threads of probability, had seen them become the very thing every ancient species feared, the inheritors of the galaxy, not through conquest, but through sheer, impossible persistence. Better, it thought, to let them discover that themselves.